I think we can start. A few minutes ago, Rabbi David was here, and I asked him, guess what chapter we are with my background and with this picture. So chapter 19 in Numbers is not a simple one, and but we'll do it. We'll do it. Okay, so it's Parashat Chukat, Parashat Para Aduma. Actually, this was, the first 5 or 6 verses were the very first time that I read in the Torah something.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was I did a bat mitzvah with a group of women a few years ago in Oel Avraham, and I had to read, and I think 5, yes, until Al Pirsha Yisrof, the first 5. So when I read it now, it was so familiar.
Was it Parshat Chukat or was it Shabbat Parah?
It was Shabbat Para. Yes, yeah. Okay, so in this chapter, we are going to talk about the laws or the rules for touching the dead people. Oh, shalom, Katrina.
Shalom.
Hello. Long time. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yofi, good to see you. So it talks about the rules after if someone touches a dead man or a corpse or something like that. And I have some philosophical question about it. I don't know if it's philosophical, but maybe it's a cultural question. And just, okay, you know what? Think in the back of your mind, why to touch a dead man in the Judaism is so defilement, tum'ah. It is so, it's avi avot tum'ah. It's the most impurity that we can think of. Okay, I have a kind of assumption, but I didn't find about it really. I mean, only the rules for it. Okay, so let's start reading. Ginny, would you like to read 1, 2, 5?
Okay, with pleasure. And the Lord spoke unto Moses and unto Aaron, and saying, This is the statute of the law which the Lord hath commanded, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, that they may bring thee a red heifer, faultless, wherein there is no blemish, and upon which there never came yoke.
Wait a minute, speak unto, just a minute. Yeah, a red heifer, right? You
Yes.
heifer.
I thought it looks like it says you'd like to say heifer, but it says I know you say heifer, so okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and you should give her. Okay, is that a female cow then? Is heifer is a female cow?
Yes.
Okay. Of course. Anyway, excuse me. And ye should give her unto Eleazar the priest, and she shall be brought forth without the camp, and she will be slain before his face. And Eleazar the priest shall take of her blood with his finger and sprinkle of her blood toward the front of the tent of meeting 7 times. And the heifer shall be burnt in his sight, her skin and her flesh and her blood with her dung shall be burnt.
Okay. And you can read also this one from Deuteronomy 21.
Okay.
Parashat Egla Arufa 3.
Okay. Okay. And it shall be that the city which is nearest unto the slain man, even the elders of that city, shall take a heifer of the herd, which hath not been wrought with, and which hath not drawn in the yoke.
Yes. So here I brought this verse only to show that it's the same. It's it's not the same cow because this heifer doesn't have to be red heifer, but it should be a young cow that has not drawn in the yoke. Now, something about the translation. So in Hebrew, we say para aduma, okay? And in English, you see it's heifer, right? And heifer, as much as what I found about it, a young female cow that has not born a calf. This is what you know about it, all the English speakers? Yes? You don't, okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
In the Hertz, it says, not a calf, but not a fully grown cow.
Yeah, I see.
A young cow, but that makes sense, that it would be one who had never born a
Yes, yes. So it's a young cow, but not a calf. Because okay, so this explains the fact that in Deuteronomy, it says in Hebrew, eglah. Eglah is a calf. It's not a young, it's not just a young cow. Okay.
But this is different between the two cases, because I would say in the first time is a mature cow, and in the second one is maybe not mature.
So what Adina says that according to one of the commentaries
in Hertz.
In Hertz, the para aduma, it's a young cow. זה לא עגלה, אבל זה לא פרה בוגרת.
Yeah.
So I have a slightly different commentary.
It's a teenager.
A teenager, young adult.
Yeah.
So this is Rabbi Plaut's commentary. The red cow, it says a heifer of unspecified age, and then it says the rabbis allowed it up to 3 years of age, Rav Meir up to 5 years.
Really?
I think the most important here is the fact that they didn't. It has not born a calf.
Yeah.
This is one thing, and it was never used for work
Right.
אשר אין במום, and of course without blemish, אשר לא עלה עליה עול, upon which never came yoke. And here it's also asher, which has not drawn in the yoke. Okay. So, and another something about the red cow. So first of all, it's not really red. It's a brown. It's a brownish, like a warm brown, hamra. And this is considered a red cow, but Emmanuel just said that there was a. I read, I don't remember where, that there isn't any really red cow. It's not. But this, and of course, it should be without any hairs of other colors. For example, if it has 2 hairs of black or white, 2 like that together comes one near the other, it is not suited for this. So
what do you call the guy who has to search for those hairs?
Exactly. And it was, Chazal wrote a detailed tests to how to verify that this is a good cow for this purpose. Okay, not the hair on the back. It should be seen that she didn't work one day in her life and all that. Now, because it was so rare, this kind of cows, I don't remember where I read, but there were only 9 times through from the days of Moses until the second temple that they did this ceremony or this ritual. Only 9 times because they found only 9 cows like this. And I believe that if a cow or a calf was born and they saw that it is a female calf and brown or red like this and without belly, so they kept her. They just kept her for this purpose, I believe, in order to use it later. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit also about the word Chukat Torah, but I think maybe if we'll have time, because in English, it says the statute of the law, okay? But why it doesn't say here Chok HaTorah? I mean, the Bible uses a lot of the word Chok or Chukah. I found out that it is approximately the same numbers of times of this usage and this usage. And the sages say that Chukah is wherever it is not a rational law. יוסי, אתה מכיר משהו על זה? או עמנואל? Wherever it is not, it just, you do this and that's it. It's not without any. So I tried to see it. I'm not sure. Maybe it should be, I mean, I'm not sure I saw this, but this is what the sages saying about this. Okay. Now the ritual goes like this. Untatem ota el Elazar HaKohen, not the high priest, but the second priest or the deputy or something like this. And he should brought her out of the camp. Now, notice that until now, we don't know what is it all about, right? We don't know that is, we don't know. And Elazar should take from her blood and sprinkle towards the front of the meat. Okay, all this is taking place outside the camp. Okay, and then the heifer shall be burnt. Everything, including the blood. Now, normally all the other korban sacrifices, the blood was sprinkled on the altar, but this one should be burnt completely, everything. Okay. Another thing that the chapter is not very clear about, that who do you think is doing all this job? I mean, we know we have here Elazar HaKohen, right? Elazar HaKohen. We have here okay, the people will give to Elazar HaKohen. We have here the Ashochet. How would I say Ashochet? Slaughter. The slaughter. Okay. We have the slaughter, which
Slaughter.
Who is
Slaughterer.
Slaughterer.
Slaughter.
Slaughterer.
Slaughterer.
Or it could be.
Besov.
Okay, yeah, so slaughterer.
Slaughter.
Okay, but
Or a butcher, whatever.
Butcher.
butcher.
Yeah.
Easier. The
Slayer.
butcher is not. But look, according to this verse, what do you understand? Is Elazar is the butcher or not?
No.
No, right?
It should be done where you can see it in his sight, but it doesn't say
Nachon.
to do it.
Exactly. Elazar is there for inspecting it, for verifying that everything goes according to the rule. So there's the Elazar, there is the butcher. There
He
is
was
the
present. Elazar was present, but who shachat the cow?
it's not Elazar, the butcher is not Elazar, someone else. The Kohanim, also Egla Rufa, the Kohanim don't do all these messy jobs. They just see that they verify, okay? Now, after there,
Or I think sprinkling blood all over the place is pretty messy.
yes. For you talking about number 4. Yes, yes.
Sprinkling, yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah. And
Wait,
7.
I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, why are we sacrificing the heifer, Biklau? Why are we doing that?
Okay,
What's the
so
reason for the
we'll get to it. Okay, we'll get to
J2.
that. It took me a few times to read this
Okay.
chapter to understand because it doesn't mention in the beginning why this is all. So we'll get to it. Okay. Now here's in 5 they're talking about the burning, and also it's not Elazar, it's someone else. Okay, I'm not sure that it is the butcher either. Okay, so we have another 2 functionaries. Okay, so let's continue. Rega. Okay, let's
Just
continue reading.
Quick question on that
Yeah, of
last
course, of
verse in number 5.
Yes.
So the English translation, and I'm just sort of looking for it in the Hebrew, and her blood with her dung.
Yeah.
And where is the with her dung part in the Hebrew?
Al pirsha. I don't know what's dung in English.
Dung,
Al pirsha.
dung is
What means
excrements,
pirsha?
but
Okay, so exactly al
So
pirsha. So it's
We-
exactly al pirsha. Al
What
pirsha
means?
haperesh shela means haperesh shela
מה זה
means
פרש?
the thing that this is the tzoah.
eliminated, what gets eliminated.
Okay.
Al pirsha is of
Yeah.
it goes in the fire.
Wow.
okay.
So this is the בסדר?
Mhm.
Okay, Gershom, can you continue?
חשבתי.
6 to we
Sure.
have
מעניין.
okay 6, and then we'll talk about it about the Ezov.
Just 6, okay.
Meanwhile,
Okay, I'll do it from yours. And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet and cast it into the midst of the burning of the heifer.
yes. So in Hebrew, רבקה, את רוצה לקרוא בפסוק ו'? ולקח הכהן. רגע, את במיוט. את במיוט, את צריכה לעשות unmute. רבקה? תעשי unmute.
סליחה, מההתחלה. ולקח הכהן עץ ארז ואזוב, ושני תולעת, והשליך אל תוך שרפת הפרה.
תודה.
אין לי עוד.
כן, אין עוד.
כן.
So,
תודה.
okay, so this materials, okay, these substances, it's erez, the cedar wood, the hyssop, and the scarlet. Scarlet is in Hebrew, it's tolat hashani. Is this the same here? Yes, tolat hashani. Okay, the scarlet. Scarlet is the little worm,
Scarlet.
the little red worm. Okay, so
Oh,
these are good materials that burn quickly and good and well. Sorry, and the whole the scarlet here is to emphasize the red color. This is what the commentaries say about it. Now, what is hyssop? Ezov.
Scarlet
By the way, it is mentioned many times in Leviticus number 14, and if we want to go back and compare, we should read the whole chapter, and I thought not to do it. So Gershom, would you like to continue about Ezov, this special plant? Yes.
The plant may be called zatar. We know it well by association with its use in an herb spice mixture. In modern Hebrew, it is called ezov, and it may have been the ezov of classical Hebrew. In many English translations of the Bible, ezov is rendered as hyssop, hence the common name for Bible hyssop, believed to be a different plant generally identified with Hyssopus officinalis.
Officinalis, normally it's like a medicinal plant. But please read the distribution. It is interesting.
Origanum syriacum is native to the Middle East. In Egypt, Origanum syriacum
לא משנה.
Species.
It's a very,
syriacum is a very rare plant that grows on stony ground in the Sinai Peninsula, including the coastal Mediterranean strip.
thank
That's
you.
us.
So
Okay.
they could have found it in a lot of, they use it. In what I read about it, it's just a plant that burn very well. If you can see in your books what is said about it, and it's a very good herbal. It's a tasty herbal.
Why, Aurora, why that plants? I think because they have a very strong smell.
Very,
אזוב, נכון? שניהם, יש
צודקת,
להם
כן, כן.
strong smell, לטשטש אולי את כל הדבר הזה.
yeah, it's
But
like we
till
are
now
doing.
till now we don't know the reason of this ceremony. We don't
נכון.
know.
Until now, we still don't know, and I promised you the answers to Ginny and to all of you. Okay, so
It's
רגע.
perhaps, אני רק
גרשום,
מחשבה
אתה
שיש...
קראת. גרשום, you read now, right?
אוקיי.
Yes.
Okay, so please continue. I took just a few examples from all over the Bible with these materials. So this is Leviticus 14, the law of the leper. Yes.
14, what is 14?
You are muted.
Sorry, I pushed the button, it didn't work. Then shall the priest command to take for him that is to be cleansed 2 living clean birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop.
Okay, so I just want to say that all this chapter, Vaikra 14, is the law of the leper for purifying the leper. Okay, so it's the same concept maybe. They take these kind of materials. Okay, so and here it's something else. Okay, in Exodus.
It says, Exodus chapter 12, and ye shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning.
Yes. So what is the story here? Remember, it's Exodus 12, just before
So that the angel of death will skip over the houses of the Jewish.
Nachon. Exactly. So they took this bunch of Ezov and did like, okay, it was the איך אומרים מכחול, like the
Paintbrush.
later. Yes,
Brush,
Oh, yeah.
brush,
the
נכון.
brush.
Yes, and נכון, you are a painter, Rivka. I forgot. And the last one, Gershom?
Psalms chapter 51, purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow.
Yes, so I just wanted to show you that,
No,
first of all, the usage of hyssop in the context of to make something cleaner or to purify, and also to use it as like a brush, or you will see in our chapter they use it in both ways. Okay.
Is it just me, Aura, or is it unusual that the Bible talks about snow? I'm not sure I can think of other examples.
Wow, it's really yeah, משלג אלבין.
Doesn't it talk about it in, I don't know, Tazria or Metzora, when you're talking about a leper and the skin
Ah,
Skin turns
like
white
a
as
snow. But yeah, I
Could
think
be.
you're right. But I agree with Gershom because
It's-
where did I see shelling?
Yeah.
Okay, but look
on
at
the top of Mount Hermon.
exactly. I mean, we have snow. We have snow in the north,
no.
and not only Hermon, also Tzfat and other places. And
Also in the Sinai
south.
desert, there is some in
נכון,
what's
in
it's
Mitzvah.
calling Har Sinai in Sinai.
Yeah. The
Mm.
whole all the high places, and Tehillim was written much later. So
Mhm.
it's not the people that were only in the desert and
That's it,
okay.
yeah.
I think, Ora, that umisheleg albin, it's an expression, not really. Expression, he will be metohar, clean,
Yes.
more
yes.
than lavan.
Yeah.
White, it's a symbol of clean.
Yes.
And he will
Yes.
be
You're
clean,
absolutely right.
more white, more than the.
No, you are
snow.
absolutely right, Rivka. We were just laughing that where is there snow in the desert?
Yeah, it only means something to someone who has seen snow.
Exactly. But the
There could
Tehillim
be
is-
the cultural memory of snow from maybe where they came from in, I don't know, Syria or whatever.
yeah,
or
yeah.
Iraq, maybe
Yeah,
they
don't
saw
forget-
snow there.
Yeah, don't forget that Tehillim is the time of, well, of course, in the Masorti, in the traditional belief, King David wrote most of it,
Mhm.
and in the research findings, it is very late. So people were around, all around. Okay, people.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's continue. So Ginny and Gershom read. Adina, would you like to read 7 to 10?
Okay. Then the priest shall wash his clothes, and he shall bathe his flesh in water, and afterward he may come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even. And he that burneth her shall wash his clothes in water, and bathe his flesh in water, and shall be unclean until the even.
Okay.
And a man that is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and lay them up without the camp in a clean place. And it shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for a water of sprinkling. It is a purification from sin.
Sin. Okay. And 10?
And he that gathereth the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes and be unclean until the even. And it shall be unto the children of Israel and unto the stranger that sojourneth among them for a statute forever.
Again, this Chukat Olam. Okay. So first, so here there's the first hints of why we are doing this. First of all, it is Chatat. It is a purification from sin, and this red cow is a sacrifice for Chatat. Now, I will remind you, Chatat is a sacrifice that we do after a sin. It means that we must do it. We cannot, it's not a volunteering sacrifice, like Ola, or Shlamim, or Nedava. Okay, these are different. Chatat is, so there is a sin here, and we still don't know which sin. Now, I just want you to see that everyone who touches this or comes in contact with this cow, with this ritual even, becomes impure. And he must be cleaned. So he washes his clothes and v'tameh hakohen ad ha'arev. May come into the camp, and the priest shall be unclean until the even. Okay, and also the person who burned her shall be cleaned afterwards. And then in 9, a clean man comes to gather the ash, on the ashes of the cow, of the heifer, and then gathered it into some kind of a bowl or something like that outside the camp. We still don't know why all this, but they should keep it. Now the clean man in 9 becomes unclean because he touched the ashes. Okay.
But why doesn't he have to take a bath? The last one, he has to wash his clothes, but it doesn't say he has to take a bath.
רגע, רחץ בשרו במים. I think because the ashes has double function. It impure the clean, but pure the unclean. Now, I think he didn't touch the animal itself, the animal, the blood, this. Okay, he was in contact only with the ashes. So no bath for it. Okay. Okay, and this is.
אורה, אני לא מקנאה בך עם הפרק הזה.
תודה, אני ממש תודה לך.
זה
אני
אי אפשר.
ירקתי דה. Did you understand what Rivka said?
No.
She doesn't envy me with this chapter. And really, it was a hard one. I thought to myself, okay, we finished this, and then we have lots of beautiful stories until the end of Numbers. We have since starting from the next chapter, we have very interesting stories. So bear with me with this and this is for Ginny, but I think Ginny, you read, Nahon, and Gershom read, and Adina, you read. So Sharon, can you read 11 until 16? Okay, and here's your answer, Ginny.
He that touches the dead, even any man's dead body, shall be unclean 7 days. The same shall purify himself therewith on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and he shall be clean. But if he purify not himself the 3rd day and the 7th day, he shall not be clean. Whosoever toucheth the dead, even the body of any man that is dead, and purifieth not himself, he hath defiled the tabernacle of the Lord. That soul shall be cut off from Israel, because the water of sprinkling was not dashed against him. He shall be unclean, his uncleanness is yet upon him.
Thank you. Just a minute. Okay.
This is the law. When a man dieth in a tent, everyone that cometh into the tent and everything that is in the tent shall be unclean 7 days. And every open vessel which hath no covering, close bound upon it, is unclean. And whosoever in the open field toucheth one that is slain with a sword, or one that dieth of himself, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean for 7 days.
Okay. So we are getting to the point. Okay, and I think this is the point here in 13. כל הנוגע במת, בנפש האדם אשר ימות. It means that to touch the dead, anything that is connected with the dead is unpure. And this person should be purified. And this is exactly how to be purified. Now look at this. Okay, and again, the punishment is terrible. ונכרתה הנפש ההיא, the soul shall be cut off from Israel. Okay, we will not get into this. But look at this, because the water of sprinkling was not dashed against him. So remember the bowl with the ashes, okay? Remember this, and let's continue. Just before we continue. Here is, what do you think is the difference between 14 and 15?
One,
And
one has to do with people, with touching an actual dead person. And the other is just touching any object that wasn't covered. 15 says every open vessel which doesn't have a covering close on it is unclean. So
yes,
15 refers to just objects around the dead person that may
Exactly.
have been contaminated by his death.
exactly. This is,
Right.
but what you said,
Yeah.
what you said is open vessels around the dead people, the dead man,
Yeah.
the dead
Yeah.
person, and it's not,
But-
written here. So, but you, yeah, I think you were right.
But
But it also,
if it's covered, then whatever is inside of it is protected. So
No,
that whatever's inside of it does not become unclean.
yes, but the vessel, it's like what Sharon said. The vessel is connected to the dead person. It's not just an
Yeah.
open vessel, just an open vessel, and should be, because it would be everything. And this is
Okay.
okay. Now in Hebrew and also in English, it says into the tent. So Chazal say about it that everyone who dies under some kind of a roof.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the as opposed to 16. Look at 16. What is the
Okay.
So someone out in the open air.
exactly?
but it also looks to me like whatever is in the sealed vessel, the vessel itself may be contaminated, but you should be able to remove what's inside the vessel,
Yes,
and that should still be okay.
נכון. Yes.
So,
כן, אני רוצה גם משהו להגיד,
כן,
בבקשה.
רבקה, כן.
אני מחכה.
לא, את יכול, כן, please go on, רבקה.
כן,
Yes.
I think
Oh.
that מה מקשר between the tent and the vessel is the tent is covered and the vessel must be covered, and the atmosphere and the air into the tent and into the vessel are impure. The energy that makes the atmosphere impure. The energy of
Impure inside the tent.
inside the tent and inside the vessel. That's why the vessel must be covered very, very, in Hebrew we say, with the very, very close. שכחתי אותו.
Yes.
Very
Securely closed.
Yes, secure.
Yeah.
תודה, שון. We have a special, quite a unique phrase here about securely closed is אין צמיד פתיל עליו. It's securely closed. It's very hard to explain.
צמיד
דוברי העברית פה, יש לכם רעיון איך להסביר את זה?
כן, זה חוט שהיו פעם סוגרים בו מכסים, זה לא היו מכסים של היום, את שמה לב, היו שמים וסוגרים ומאוד
Rivka
חלקים.
says it's a thread that you would do something with a thread.
אטום.
Using a rubber band is like a rubber band is all.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
like a rubber band. נכון, yes.
אירו, איך אומרים באנגלית ברזל מתכת? אירו? מתכת. Must be very, very, very close.
Iron?
Iron. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
In the Hertz, it talks about it being hermetically sealed.
Yes, hermetically sealed. Okay,
כמו
so
בידוד, כמו חדר אטום בבידוד.
if you have if there is leaking from your roof in the winter, so take צמיד פתיל and close it. Okay, anyway, and this is the 7 days, and כל הבא אל האוהל, everyone who comes into the, so probably people should have take out his body and for burying it, right? And so they were falsely contaminated, and they should be 7 days purifying. Okay. Okay. Now we'll continue, and you will have the answer for the Azov. Now, so Ginny, Gershom, Adina, and Sharon read. And I think, Ginny, it is back to you. We are back to you. So 17, please read until 22, and we are getting to the end of the chapter.
Okay. And for the unclean, they should take of the ashes of the burning of the purification from the sin, and running water should be put thereto into a vessel. And a clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water and sprinkle it upon the tent and upon all the vessels and upon the persons that were there and upon him that touched the bone or the slain or the dead or the grave. And the clean person shall sprinkle upon the unclean on the 3rd day and on the 7th day. And on the 7th day he shall purify him, and he shall wash his clothes and shall bathe himself in water and shall be clean at even. But the man that shall be unclean and shall not purify himself, that soul shall be cut off from the midst of the assembly, because he hath defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The waters of sprinkling hath not been dashed against him. He is unclean. And it shall be a perpetual statute unto them. And he that sprinkleth the water of the sprinkling shall wash his clothes, and he that touches the water of sprinkling shall be unclean until even. And whatsoever the unclean person toucheth shall be unclean, and the soul that toucheth him shall be unclean until even.
Thank you. So you got the answer? Okay, so they take, Sharon, you are here now? I thought you were going to the call with your son.
I am, but he needs to do something. He'll call me back in a few minutes.
Okay, okay. So here in 17, they take the bowl with the ashes and put water inside, and then he take the Azov, okay, and a pure man, and a pure someone who is pure, probably one of the the lower priests. Vehiza al ha'oel v'al kol ha'kelim, and sprinkling it upon the vessel. This is how the purification of everything takes place. Okay, with this, so the Azov, the hyssop, plays here 2 roles. One is for the burning and for getting into the ashes, and one for as like a brush or like a bunch of
A tool, some kind of tool.
Yeah, it's not exactly a tool, but it's like a bunch of plants that you put in the water and then
you spritz.
yes, it's biduk spritz. Now the pure is sprinkled upon the unclean, okay, and then and he should wash his clothes and also a bath. I just want to see if the pure should do anything or should do something also. And then again, in 20 is the punishment, because it is a terrible tum'ah. It is avi avot tum'ah. It's the most defilement that can be, to touch
The mother of all sins.
the mother of all sins, but it's not exactly sin, it's tum'ah. The mother of all
Impurities,
sins,
of all impurity.
exactly.
I have a question. Isn't there a Moroccan custom at the end of Pesach, during Mamuna, where people dip branches or something into milk and then spritz it on people?
I don't know. I don't know this costume. I'm not a
Okay,
Moroccan, but maybe Rivka. Rivka, you know something about it?
It is not, אני לא מכירה את זה גם בארץ. מה זה, הם העיפו מעל מה?
משפיצים חלב על בני אדם בממונה.
בממונה?
ואז
Yeah,
לא
we
בוכים על
had
חלב
a
של-
rabbi at Moria.
I want
We
to
had
tell
a-
you something, please. The Mimuna in Israel, it's a new creation of the people from Morocco. In Morocco, all that, those things wasn't. ממש
They
לא.
didn't exist.
בוודאי. In Morocco, the Mimuna people went, הלכו in the houses, one from the other. They test not kosher thing like
Bread.
green and simple thing and many sweet. And in the morning they went to the nature. That's it.
Well,
Here
this is
it's
exactly the
developed
Mimuna here.
after, פה זה התפתח לכל מיני סרמוני בגלל רוצים להראות את עצמם ורוצים, וזה יפה, למה לא? זה חגיגות
But
יפות.
it's quite, but Rivka, this is quite similar to what is going now. Of course, now it became some kind of a political meeting,
נכון.
but the essence of eating sweet and not kosher, not Pesach kosher, and
Okay.
then going out to nature is the same.
See, this is the Mimuna. This
Yes,
is,
okay.
but perhaps, you know, in other towns, other places in Morocco, they had other traditions. Perhaps that is a tradition of
Yeah.
some way, but
So
not, I know.
they had
אבל זה יפה, הכל יפה, כל הטקסים יפים, למה לא?
I hope they didn't cry after the sprinkling the milk.
תראי, רגע, עולה על דעתי, perhaps it after יציאת מצרים, כשהתיזו דם על המשקופים, על הדלתות. אולי שמה התיזו דם, ופה מתיזים חלב, זה יפה.
אוקיי.
נכון? יפה, אפשר לפתח.
נכון. Okay, so just notice the name. This is Mei Nida. Mei Nida is the water with the ashes of the red essence and heifer, sorry. And this is Mei Nida. Now it's the same word as Nida for women.
Yes,
Women. Okay.
I didn't understand מאיפה באו מי נידה. בפסוק 17 יש לנו מים טהורים. על מים חמים.
No, but מים טהור, okay, in 17 it is you put running water or clean water into the bowl with the ashes and it becomes מי נידה. It becomes special water to purify everything that was in contact with everything or everyone that were in contact with a dead person.
So the impurified water make impurified people and
yes, exactly. Now look at this, and now this is what I wanted to show you, because it's always everybody who is participating this ritual becomes an unclean, apart from the people who were unclean because of the dead. Okay, now look at number 21. And he that sprinkleth the water umazeh mei hanida of sprinkling shall wash his clothes. Now in number 19 he was tahor, he was a clean person. Okay. Okay, in 19 he was tahor, but he touches the ashes and all this. So if you are clean and touch it, you become impure. If you are unclean and touch it, you become pure. It's very interesting. Don't you think?
It's all very mystifying.
Yes.
And there is a commentary about why the third day and the seventh day. למה פעמיים? הטיהור הוא two times.
Yeah, I didn't.
Purified is two times. After 3 days and after 7
Adina,
days.
can
And
you
between
look
that,
what is
what
Hertz?
happened?
What
What
Hertz
happened?
write about it? I don't know. I didn't find. I
I
didn't.
don't know. I'm not sure it said anything about that, but let me take a look.
Yeah, maybe I will see also what Rashi says.
And what happened between the 3rd day and the 7th day?
Oh, he just staying in his tent and the
The whole-
bidud in isolation, some kind of an
Oh.
isolation. He doesn't go out. He doesn't. He is still
unclean.
yes, unclean. רק שנייה.
Hertz doesn't say anything about it.
Yeah, also Rashi, I don't find here.
Okay, I have Jacob Milgrom,
Okay.
And-
Jacob Milgrom.
and he said that the severity of the impurity is diminished by the initial sprinkling on the 3rd day. And it's still reflected in the mourning customs in Judaism. On that 3rd day of the week of mourning of Shiva, the prohibitions are reduced. In Moed Katan 27b, we find 3 days for weeping and 7 for lamenting and 30 to refrain from cutting the hair and from donning pressed clothes. Hereafter, the Holy One, blessed be He, says, you are not more compassionate towards him than the departed deny. Anyway, the idea that it lessens the uncleanness and then it finally cleans them all together on the 7th day, which is reflected in the Shiva, which is becomes the restrictions of what one does during Shiva.
Ah,
It's severe. I don't know.
Like-
That's what he said. Whatever.
and you
Something's
know, and this question that now I think about what it says in the 3rd day and in the 7th day. It doesn't say
Like,
on Tuesday and on Shabbat, right? So it can be, for example, if I touch a dead person on Monday, and then on Thursday I have to make the first step of the cleanliness, and then what goes on Shabbat. So it doesn't say anything.
no, it's like half a week and then the whole week. It's like in the middle of the time and then at the end of the time.
Yes, yes. But if you have a Shabbat inside, it doesn't matter. In between, if you have if you started your week on Tuesday and then finish it on the next Monday.
Mhm.
But
You know,
my
it reminds me. It also reminds me the all the rules of when we had the Corona. I mean, it's not. Of course, it's
Yeah.
not exactly. It's not exactly, but you have to be in isolation in between. I don't know, until 2nd or 3rd day, and then do another test, and then
yeah,
it's some
Exactly.
kind of
Yeah.
isolation.
Perhaps the reaction of this no, unclean, unpurified will develop between the 3rd and the 7th day. And they wait. If it is not developed, they make another a second purified and it's okay. כי יכול להיות שיש בין נו, עכשיו עברית שכחתי, תעזבי.
Think about it a little bit and
אני משתגעת, אני עוברת מפה לפה.
no, it's
just
טומאה,
It just made me think of-
טומאה, יכול להיות שאת הטומאה שיש, מתפתחת, נעשית כמו וירוס, יותר, אז הם מחכים, הם חיטאו, אחרי 3 ימים רואים אם אין פיתוח של הטומאה, ואז הם עושים בשביעי עוד פעם, ואז נטו נקי. הקורונה שאמרת, פיתחה לי את הרעיון הזה.
So maybe it's some kind of sterilized, because people die sometimes from some pathogen that is infected other
yes,
people.
I think
And this is the like to sterilize the סביבה, the around.
I think this is what Rivka meant. נכון,
Yeah.
Rivka? It was like this was what Rivka meant. Some kind of this. Like if nothing is developed, it's okay.
כן, כן,
Okay.
חצי
It just,
דרך.
it just made me think of, like when you have an infection and you get antibiotics. And then after you're taking the antibiotics for 2 days or something, then supposedly you're not contagious anymore. I
Yes.
probably not connected at all, but it just made me think of
But
that.
yeah, no, but you're right, because you are not contagious, but you must continue the antibiotics until the 10th day.
Yeah.
נכון מאוד.
Means that
There is
Later.
a very story about before 100 years about a doctor that noticed that if the people don't wash, the doctors don't wash
כן.
the hands after they treat with somebody that died after that. And he noticed that more people infected and
Yes.
become
Yes.
healed.
Yes,
It's
yes.
a very, very known story.
Yeah, it's like contagious, and but here, if you go back to our chapter, here the antibiotics, so-called, is the main nida. It's not antibiotics, of course. It's only ritual, but main nida. Now I try to see what is main nida. I mean, what is nida here? So it can be nida. From the word lanud, it means to be separated, to be like Ishmael. No, sorry, Cain was cursed as to be navanad, and to be far from people, far from anyone around. מה?
קין was נאוונה תהיה בארץ.
Navana תהיה בארץ, yes,
Cain.
Cain. So it's the same, nad and nida, it's the same root. But I think there is another
גם הווירוס,
possible commentary.
עתידה באה גם מהווירוס, גם הווירוס נאבנד.
גם הווירוס נאבנד.
איזה טוב. תשמעו איזה פרק זה משוגע.
Okay, so we
But
have.
my question, the question I thought of was, what did they do when they ran out of the ashes? Because you have the ashes and you're making water with the ashes, but what happens when it's all used up?
Well, yeah, it's a good question. I read, I don't remember where, that every time if you do another para aduma ritual, okay, another red heifer ritual, you have to take a little bit of a small portion from the previous bowl to the new bowl. It's not. So maybe they should have kept something all the time. It should.
It doesn't say what the concentration has to be, so you can sort of always add more water. it
You can
seems.
exactly, you can
רוצה?
add more
Like
water.
when you're running out of soup and then you put more water into it?
Exactly.
פשוט
Until it becomes, איך אומרים את זה, רפואה, איך אומרים את זה, נו, הומאופתי.
עכשיו רציתי להגיד.
הומאופתי, you know.
מטהר. ממש ממש. אוקיי, הורדתי את היד, אורה.
Yeah. Homeopathic. You know that in homeopathic drugs, or there is not even one molecule of the substance, even one. And the thing that what they say, according to what I heard about it, that the water remembers, and then the water is or are functioning. Okay, so I have a joke about it. Okay, I think we finished. There are a few more. We can skip it.
And I have a question when you're finished.
Okay. So please go on. I will keep my joke.
Oh, okay. I don't want to keep people in suspense, but so I'm asking basically for anybody who might be familiar with applying this in modern times, realizing that we don't live in the era of priests and the temple. But looking at number 11, he who touches the corpse of any human being shall be unclean for 7 days. How do the people who work with Chevre Kadisha handle this nowadays? I mean, do they work one day and then not for 7 days? And is there some workaround that they use? Or does anybody know?
If you ask them,
Really
you
don't
will-
know.
we-
Wow, that's
you
a.
will have an
I mean,
answer.
you say how this law is addressing
How-
now today.
Yeah, how do they purify themselves? They
time.
can't go
Wow.
out for those 7 days. I mean,
In those days, all the people they are called Tmemet, and they are not allowed to. All the rabbis not allowed to the Jews to go to the Har Bayit. All the rabbis they are not allowed because all the people today, because we have no Tefer Apara Aduma, they are
Constantly.
or they are Tmemet.
So they are always Tmemet.
Yes, all the people now, the Jews and not the Jews, of course, they are Tmemet.
So it means that they don't do all this
All this
purification.
because there is no Paraduma, there is no this.
no purification.
But so it means they are always unclean.
Yes.
How do they go to? I mean, how do they
So
go?
they are not allowed to go to Har Bayit.
That's all.
Exactly. There is a
That's
status quo about that. Gershon, I want please to answer you. If you go to the halacha, to the Chazal, you can get an answer of your question because our law is not based on the Bible, but on the halacha, and they have ways, very complicated, מתוחמנים to change things.
Yes, we know.
For the day. הם מתאימים, הם בטח ימצאו תשובה למה לא 7 ימים וכן הלאה.
But it's interesting. I think what Yossi said, this is the tshuva, this is the answer. I mean, if all the soul forbidden, they are forbidden only to go to Har Bayit. I mean, all of us are forbidden to go to Har Bayit, actually. But this is
because they
issue.
don't know if they are clean and purified or not. יש נשים בנידה, הם כולנו טמאים. Our life are unpurified, all our life, as they don't know who is really, who is purified and not purified. So the law said no one can go to the Har Bayit.
The punishment
but they can go, but they can be with their wives, because it's not, I mean, they can be with their wives, and it's not a question of,
no,
doesn't,
כולם אסורים לעלות על הר הבית, even the Kohen, because they don't know where was the Kodesh HaKodashim. And every Kohen is not allowed to go to the Kodesh HaKodashim, only the great priest.
okay.
Okay.
Now, in order to enlighten a little bit the atmosphere, I will tell the joke, and then I will ask you we will discuss maybe something that I was thinking about. how do you pay to a homeopath doctor, physician? How do you pay? After he treated you, now you have to pay him, right? So you pay him with water that you previously you put your credit card inside and then you took it out. Okay, now.
Good luck.
He will come to you with a gun.
אני גם
לא.
רוצה לצחוק, לא הבנתי.
אוקיי, איך את משלמת להומאופת?
נו,
את משלמת עם מים שהיו בתוכם כרטיס אשראי.
לא הבנתי.
לא הבנת? כאילו ש...
כרטיס אשראי זה הטומאה?
לא, 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 לא. דיברנו על ההומאופתיה שאין
כן,
שם
שאותו דבר, מרפאים רעל ברעל.
לא, לא, שאין מולקולה אחת, אז כאילו המים זוכרים, נכון? אז the water remember the credit card.
אוקיי, עכשיו.
Okay, so what I wanted to raise here is why do we consider the contact with dead people as such a serious, severe, such a terrible sin? Why?
From a worldly point of view, you could be contaminated by whatever was the cause of death of the person.
Yes, yes, you're right. You're right. No, it's very logic. It's very, very logic. But I think, apart from hygienic point of view, and apart from I think that this is to really separate the Judaism from other cultures, because in the ancient Egypt, for example, they worshipped the dead people. They built, they fed the dead people. They kept it in mummies. How do you say it? Mummies.
Mummy.
And they did a lot of they worship their dead people, and I think also to separate it, the Judaism do not worship the dead, but worship the living people.
איך?
This is what I think.
לא רוחצים את המת?
לא, לא, לא. המצרים העתיקים עושים ממש פולחן המת.
נו, ואנחנו...
טוב, נדבר על זה יותר אולי.
אוקיי.
Okay, I think we can skip this. רגע, my something. הנה. Okay, here's something about מי נידה. Again, it's מי נידה התחתה, בחושב. מי נידה is our water that can purify other. It shown also in the, we will read it. It is in Numbers. Okay, so I think this is for today. This is.
תודה רבה, אורה. תודה לכולם.
כן, תודה.
שבת שלום.
שבת שלום.
בת שלום.
ביי ביי.
תודה רבה.
ביי.
Welcome.
Where will be the next lesson?
I